So we're here live in the CFRC studio, CFRC 101.9 FM. We're back with the CFRC live sessions, broadcasting from the Queen's campus, and we're here with Blake Little today. Hello.
Hello.
So tell us a bit about your music. Like, a lot of our listeners might not necessarily know who you are, though they might have seen you playing around town. So tell us a bit about sort of what you sound like and what music you're interested in.
My name is Blake. I'm a 22-year-old singer-songwriter. I go to Queen's. I'm currently in my 5th year. I'm studying film, but I've been making music and playing music for pretty much as long as I can remember. Started writing when I was about 13 or 14. I'm a rock artist for sure at heart, but my music definitely, especially in this setting, tends to fall closer into a folkier or kind of an acoustic sound. However, normally when I'm with a band, I definitely go for the sort of grungy 90s aesthetic. People have compared my voice to kind of Eddie Vedder sound, something close to that. So I wouldn't quite call myself Pearl Jam, but I would definitely say that's kind of where the origin and the sound comes from for sure.
I can hear a bit of that in some of your solo work as well. Like you said, in the voice and everything, you go for, to my ear, something that's a mix of like almost like Americana, Canadiana, but then there's also, like you said, this grunge touch. But then there are also some more surprising elements that you mix in that people don't necessarily hear in like classic rock. So tell us about where that sort of, that almost electronic or rap influence comes in.
Yeah, especially very recently, I've been working with some other producers to kind of re-expand my sound a little bit. Growing up, I always loved hip-hop, like Outkast, some really good Southern Atlanta hip-hop has always been something that I really loved growing up. And to incorporate that into my sound is something that I've been really trying to do a little bit more often. It's not the easiest to do when you're doing a session with a guitar, but it's definitely been recently something I've added into my songwriting for sure.
Yeah, it sounds like a good challenge as well to like marry the two influences without them sounding too disparate. So tell us a bit about your songwriting then.
Songwriting has always been, it's been kind of cathartic to me. The sound has always been not secondary, but it's been definitely, it's used to convey whatever emotion it is at the time. And I find that hip-hop music and rock music can both be very very emotionally and politically charged, or even just for that matter, strong statements tend to come out of all music. And so I think just trying to find different ways to attack those modes is kind of what I've been trying to aim at. I've always found that hip-hop music is kind of a more direct, like lyrically I can attack it, where it's like I'm telling you exactly how I'm feeling in this song and exactly why. Whereas rock music, it's the way I sing certain words and the cadence that I choose to go with that tends to really dictate emotion and what I'm actually saying in the song.
So what are these themes that you're trying to tackle through your music?
Well, I definitely, call it the male Taylor Swift counterpart in me. I'm definitely always, a sucker for writing about unrequited love or love that is gone awry. That's definitely something that has been, unfortunately, in recent years, definitely a topic that I tend to go back to. But still, growing up, I've always seen, addiction and other things like that have also been a very prevalent and important topic, and I think it's definitely not an underlooked topic, but it's one that it's an everlasting challenge, and it's something that is always worth having an opinion on, whether it's a song from 50 years ago or a song written today.
You're tackling the big social themes of the world.
I'm trying to.
So you're playing 3 songs for us today. So let's use this to sort of move into the first one that you're going to be playing for us. So tell us a bit about what is it, what's it about?
Okay, well, all 3 of the songs I'm playing today are on an upcoming EP that I'm working on, and the idea of it is kind of sudden change or changes in your life that are occurring. The very first song I wrote and recorded for this was a song that I called Spring. It came out last year. And it's definitely one that it goes back to that first topic, of just like it was a relationship that it wasn't necessarily anything me or the other person had done, but more so that our lives at the time just weren't capable of, sustaining this relationship, and kind of what that meant to me at the time, at least.
Okay. And this is the first song that you're going to be
Yeah.
playing for us as well. So Spring, Blake Little, we're live here on CFRC.
Girl, you can make a moment last forever, but in the morning there's no time together. So ain't no harm, set the alarm for another 20. I'm staring out at the sky, God, ain't she pretty? So every time you tell me that you want me, I hear you loud and clear. Maybe I could whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Sometimes our lives compromise what we hold dear. It's funny, girl, I guess springtime really ain't my time of year. It's funny, girl, I guess springtime really ain't my time of year. Sometimes you're up, it's never good as it seems. Well, Mr. Young told me years ago, I finally know what he means. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't long between you and me. I think I miss more what we could have been. So every time you tell me that you want me, I hear you loud and clear. Maybe I could whisper sweet nothings in your ear. Sometimes our lives compromise what we hold dear. It's funny, girl, I guess springtime really ain't my time of year. It's funny, girl, I guess springtime really ain't my time of year. It's funny, girl, I guess springtime really ain't my time of year.
We're back, CFRC 101.9 FM, CFRC Live Sessions. I'm Rue, and I'm here with Blake Little. We just heard your song Spring.
Yes, thank you for listening to it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, that song is definitely, it kind of started a spiral of songwriting. Songwriting kind of comes in waves, I find. There can be months on end sometimes where it's like you're not inspired, and be it for the right or the wrong reasons, that was definitely one that, it kind of created this idea of, change and kind of scenarios that you just don't expect to come up in life appearing, and it kind of set the tone for this upcoming EP that I'm working on, which was really nice.
And let's talk about this EP a little bit. So it's definitely not like your first time putting out stuff. You're used to doing this right now. Let's first talk about how it all got started. Like, how did you get into music and recording and things like that?
Okay, so I mean, music has been something it's always been very prevalent in my life. Even growing up, I mean, my father always told me stories of, like, before I can even remember, me just singing my heart out for no good reason, annoying the heck out of my family. And so it definitely was something that just, like, I was attached to it at a very young age. I started playing guitar when I was about 10 years old, and then very shortly afterwards started tinkering with writing songs. And I don't know, I used to watch, 80s hair bands, believe it or not, like Def Leppard, and I would just be like, it's just like, I want to be them. I want to be them one day. And it's might not be exactly the goal anymore, to have poofed out 80s hair, but it's still the love for music and the love for songwriting definitely developed there. And then when I was in high school, I was grateful enough to record and produce my very first song, and then from there make my first record, which was nice.
Okay. And now you're coming up to this EP. Tell us a bit about sort of the EP itself. Like, do we have, like, plans or any idea when it's going to be coming out, that sort of thing?
So, in short, there is no date yet. However, I am aiming for sometime in the spring. You know, ironically, considering that song was written last spring, it kind of is coming full circle. But nonetheless, probably April or Mayish around that time. But I'm not putting any specific date. I do have the EP written. It's just a matter of getting it recorded and polished to a liking that I feel is worth releasing.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to be happy with it.
100%. But it's getting there. It is definitely getting there, which is good. It is called Solstice, if you ever wonder, and if, who knows, by the time that you're watching this, maybe there's more news on it.
Release it around the solstice.
Yes, that was originally the plan. However, you know, having released the song in June, I was like, 3 weeks is it's quite the cutoff. It's quite the deadline.
Now, you've been around the Kingston scene for a little bit. You've sort of played with bands around. So what's your experience of Kingston been like? Because whenever we get bands in here, because this is such a Kingston-focused show, I tend to just like ask bands and artists what they're like, what it's been like in the scene for them, their experiences and all that stuff. And it's always interesting hearing how different parts of the scene fit together. So I'd like to hear that from you as well.
Well, you know, when back in high school, this is mild flashback, but when I was deciding to come to Kingston, a major reason was that I had a convo with my uncle, and he just said, "You need to go to Kingston. The music scene is electric." That was the words. That was the words that he used. And yeah, there's a long history. You know, some great artists that have definitely come out of this town. And once I got here, his words and other people's words have definitely been proven right. There's a lot of amazing musicians in this city, and it's great because, you know, especially if you go down on Princess Street, there's just on any given night you can find good, solid live music. You just have to be looking for it, and
so many
it's
venues.
So exciting. So many venues, and it's not just a weekend thing. You know, on a Tuesday night, on a Thursday night, it doesn't matter when it is. You can find somebody in Kingston who is probably playing something pretty kick-ass, which is always awesome.
That's true. And how did you get into like playing in bands and stuff in Kingston?
I just reached out to a couple of musicians. At the time, they were in between bands, and then, you know, you get to do a little bit of networking, and you find other artists, you know, to whether it be do shows with or to, you know, just jam and practice with, songwriting sessions. You know, there's never one specific way to do networking right, if you will, right? But that was definitely my way of just kind of going, hey, do you want to jam sometime? Or, hey, do you want to put this show together? Or, hey, do you want to, you know, whatever it be. And it definitely helped me meet some very nice and very talented individuals.
Mm-hmm. And like, you know, there's always something new popping up in Kingston, so people will see you around town as well.
100%.
Okay, so the next song you're going to be playing for us is also off of this EP. Tell us a bit about it.
This song is called Solstice, actually. I don't know why exactly I decided to make this the title track, other than that I felt it was just, if there was a thesis statement, you know, I assumed that this would be it. It just felt the most on the nose, you know, of this is what, even if all of these songs have their own tangents and have their own kind of meaning of what it is for change and what it is for growth, it is, again, all about finding that change and kind of reaching your own solstice in life, be it, you know, a whatever corner it be that you're turning.
This is the overarching sort of theme, so this is what people can be looking out for when your EP comes out.
Yeah.
Well, let's hear the song now.
I don't mind if you tell me how it is. Just rip the band-aid off and baby, make it quick. I'm not one to slowly kid. I won't lie, don't remember what I did, but that's the problem when you're drinking by the fifth. Vision gets blurry in a hurry, yeah, I'm slurring real quick. Maybe it's time we make that change. maybe in time we'll be less estranged. I won't lie, I know it's not your fault. I'm too quick to draw, too quick to aim, too quick to shoot and reload. I'm all or none from the go. In the end, I think it's for the best. The season's changing, baby, yeah, we got no time to invest. I'm wishing you the best. Maybe it's time we make that change. Maybe in time we can be strangers. Well, baby, it's time. Well, the sun is shining and the weather's fine. I finally feel myself again. Sammy Cook's in heaven, screaming like a reverend. Yeah, you're swearing for a change. I said change, change. Oh Lord, there's a change. I said change, change, change.
Change. We're back here, CFRC Live Sessions. Blake Little, wow. That was, like you said, really putting the point home there in that chorus.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely was, like I said, just right hammer on the nail, kind of exactly what I was going for with this record. Be it just a lot of reflection, a lot of time spent, thinking about why was I in these scenarios, and that song especially, kind of is, as much as it's a reflection on relationships and growth, it's as much a reflection on where were you at, what were you doing during these times, and how can you change for the better, how can you make your future a little bit brighter from what you do.
For sure. And also sonically, I mean, it started off when we began. It felt to me almost like, we're doing this like intimate sit-down kind of session thing. It felt almost like when, you'd have bands in the 90s come in and do like a stripped-down version of their songs. And then it just like exploded all over the place. Like, I appreciated the fact that it sounded like you had like a mental orchestra out there doing the sort of extra guitars and screams with you, but it was also, like we saw, very sit down, intimate, and like, just you putting your feelings out there. It was great.
Yeah, I will say that is definitely a song. The orchestration and the idea behind what will eventually be when it's finished in the studio, it kind of it bleeds out off the sleeve a little bit. You can totally hear the band jump in right at the end of that song, and like you said, it's a total contrast from the kind of soft, simmered down version that's the song starts with. But yeah, I've always, tried to approach songwriting with, and I don't remember who it was who said it, but somebody, I seen an interview once where they went, a really great song can be stripped back to, just one instrument and one voice, and it should at least still be able to get some sort of, message conveyed through it, even if it's not the same song without all of the working parts.
For sure. I mean, let's talk about that because, in the studio you can do a lot of stuff that one person alone can't do live. So how do you like translate your recordings and like your writing into your live shows?
So growing up, I I was a sucker for Ed Sheeran, and I used to watch live videos of him, and he always had this loop pedal. So I have tinkered with a looper in the past, and I thought about even bringing it today, but I've always found there's a certain intimacy, and that you can still attract and engage an audience with just you and yourself in one instrument. And sometimes the idea of trying to do it all by yourself, when you have a looper, not everybody is Ed Sheeran. Not everybody is capable of doing it as quickly and as captivating as someone like him does. And so it's something that it took me many years to kind of realize that, where it was like, more layers is not always better. And sometimes, as long as you're getting the point across, that's what's important. And obviously sometimes playing with a band helps.
For sure. I mean, so can people see you around sort of in the future around this?
I am definitely working on getting some shows going. I have a show coming up in Toronto, which isn't very helpful for a Kingston radio station, I know. But that is the only current solidified date I have as of right now. However, I am shooting my little emails out to as many places as I can, and hopefully, one lands very soon. Ideally in February at some point. And I will definitely keep on social media that posted.
Where can people find you online?
So online, I'm most active. I've been trying to be more active on TikTok. On TikTok, it's just Blake Little _. But my most active is definitely on Instagram, just at Blake Little Music. Again, most active is a relative term, especially when you're in the writing process, but that will definitely be where I probably first post any, show updates or any, further EP updates and stuff like that.
Is it difficult to manage sort of, trying to be mysterious and everything, and like keeping those themes in the music and sort of having to do social media and things like that?
It can be, especially because, there tends to be these trends on TikTok where it's like, if you like this song, this is for you, right? And like that's, I know that it's not the, it's definitely a cheesy way of promoting, but it is something that, a lot of people do and it works, and it kind of defies that purpose and that mystification of, hey, you should listen to this and figure out what it's about, right? But I definitely don't think it's a challenge per se, because it's, as an artist, you spend a lot of time, putting whatever it is that you're trying to convey into a song, and essentially you're really sending that message out to the world from the moment that you plan on playing it for other people. So I think like it can be hard to separately convey that message through social media, but it's definitely not impossible, and it's probably favorable, honestly.
Mm-hmm. If you had to do one of those videos, how would you describe your music to people?
I would probably say something like, are you looking for an indie artist that kind of has that grunge aesthetic, yet keeps modern elements involved in his music? Then this is the artist you're looking for.
I'm hearing it. There we go. That's the promo for this show.
Yeah.
But you're going to be playing one more song for us for this session today.
Yes. This is another song that's going to be on the upcoming EP. This one is mildly tangent to the other meanings, finally not one that is about love or some sort of, relationship with people, but rather this one is the idea of peer pressure and addiction, and the hand that they kind of play with one another, and how it's easy to get lost in the partying lifestyle, especially in a city like Kingston that has quite a live downtown, I will say.
Queens is a party school.
It 100% is.
Well, so this one's for all the Queen students out there.
This one is called Feeling It.
Well, thanks so much for dropping by. We'll go out with that last session. Blake Little here on CFRC.
Thank you for having me. it's on occasion. You can't call it vacation when you end up staying. Left the door unlocked, the residency's vacant. Man, I'm wasted. They say the music's always loudest when it's time to face it. Well, let's face it, I'm growing complacent. Well, I don't care, grow a pair, yeah, that's what they're saying. The night is young, 901, let's not waste it. So braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, take a shot for the road, are you feeling it? So braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, take a shot for the road, are you feeling it? So braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, it's time for the show, are you feeling it? And are you feeling it? And are you feeling it? Hold up, let me get my feet back on the ground. I'm eyes sailing, I don't think I'm gonna come down. No, the heat is rising, about to have a meltdown. Oh yeah, I'm falling quickly, yeah, I need some help now. Braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, take a shot for the road, are you feeling it? So braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, it's time for the show, are you feeling it? So braid your hair up, baby, put on your clothes, it's time to go, are you feeling it? And are you feeling it? And are you feeling it? Hi, I'm Blake Little, and you're listening to 101.9 CFRC.